Hey guys, haven't done a video in a little while, but I got this knife in the mail from one of my buddies, James. This is not my knife. He's letting me borrow this. I sent a knife his way, sent a few my way. So just a quick look. I just opened it, haven't got to play with it too much or anything, but just wanted to get something on video here. Pretty cool. So this is a Cultrotech Svarn 2. Hopefully I'm saying that right, I'm not sure. But one of the main things that I noticed right away is just the details. The details of this knife are awesome. You got some really intricate milling here on the scales with some very beautiful carbon fiber. It's all milled out as well. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, maybe you can see it there. A good amount of milling in the carbon fiber and obviously on the titanium. Really awesome hardware also. I'm not sure what the material is there. It's probably bronze titanium if I had to guess, but it almost looks like a copper. So that's pretty cool. Another great thing about this knife is that being a liner lock, both sides are beautiful. So they didn't skimp at all. A lot of knives you'll see on the lock side is going to be very plain or just not decorated as much as the show side, but as you can see on this knife, it's just as good, if not even better, just because the pocket clip is on this side and it's not your average pocket clip. It's a 3D milled pocket clip and it's got a good amount of room. Spring's really nice, very well done. Cool geared back spacer. Yeah, I'm not sure I've seen anything quite like this before. I guess it's similar in appearance to maybe a Shirogorov. It's a big knife. Let's see how big it is next to a 111 here. So yeah, I'd say the 111 only has I don't know, maybe 3/4 of an inch on it. Let's compare it to a new one I just got just for fun. All right. Compared to the bronze Hottie, yeah, the Cultrotech's got a solid 1/2 inch on that, so not a small knife, that's for sure. And as you can see, the blade's really cool. It's got that cutout in there, so you can finger flick it. It also just adds some aesthetics to the blade, which is always nice. Yeah, you get to look at my ugly mug there in that mirrored stonewash, which is pretty awesome. That's actually very similar to Shirogorov there, maybe even slightly more, I guess a light mirrored stonewash, so that's really cool. Now, another interesting thing about this knife, see if I can manipulate the camera here a little bit, is the action. So this runs on washers. And look how smooth it is. That's insane. I mean, that's as smooth as any knife that I know of that's on bearings. It's pretty impressive. I think I'd compare it to, here's a Custom Division 95T. That's that kind of smoothness, right? And this is on bearings. It's on roller bearings, and it's a Custom Division, so it's pricier than the Cultrotech is. So that's pretty impressive. You have what's considered to be probably a mid-tech, maybe a production knife. I'm not sure what you would call it, but I think with all this, all the milling, all the details, I would really call it a mid-tech, possibly even you know, I know they have their customs, and their customs go for like $5 grand or something crazy, so I don't want to call this a custom. I guess to them it'd be considered a mid-tech, but I would say it's right there with any custom I know of, especially, in the $1,500 range that this is going for. You get some really nice details and just amazing action. It's a very thin knife too. For a liner lock, can really appreciate how thin this knife is. Let's put it next to another liner lock here. Okay, so here's the F3 Custom Division from Shirogorov, and you can see it's quite a bit thinner. So yeah, that's quite impressive that they were able to do that. Very cool. I don't have a lot of liner locks in my collection, so I don't have a ton to compare it to. But it is a thin knife. Very well executed. Alright, so let's see how much it weighs, because I'm pretty curious how heavy this knife is. It feels like it's pretty light. Maybe in the 4.5 ounce range. Let's see. Yeah, 4.6. So relatively light knife, especially considering the materials used. You got a lot of titanium, the carbon fiber on there. So, you know, they use some pretty light materials, and for a liner lock, I'd say it's extremely light, especially considering it's probably about a 3.9 inch blade. It might be 4 inches. I don't have a ruler handy, but it's definitely not a small knife. I don't have a ton of small knives to compare it to. Maybe a 3.5 inch sigil here. Let's see. Line those up. So yeah, I'd say it's coming in at right around the 4 inch range. So big knife. No joke, definitely a big knife, and at only 4.6 ounces, definitely, you know, a good blade size to weight ratio. I haven't thrown this in my pocket yet or anything to check it that way, see how pocketable it is, but there's the centering, very nicely centered. Let's see the lock up here. Gonna be right around about 40%. They do something interesting here with their lock face. If my camera will focus. Let's see. Hopefully you can see that. So they have it almost stepped, kind of like how Shirogorov does, but Shirogorov does it on the lock bar opposed to the lock face on the blade. So it's almost like the opposite of what Shirogorov does, but it stops it from going all the way over. So a nice feature there. What else about the knife? This is just an initial, quick initial review. Like I said, I opened this probably 8 minutes ago. So it's very fresh. I haven't got to play with it much at all, but very cool knife. M390 steel. And if you know anything about Cultrotech, you know that they run their steels extremely hard. I don't know what this comes in at, probably 63 or 64 HRC. I've seen their customs all the way up to 64, some of their production or mid-tech or whatever you want to call it, at 63. So extremely high for M390. Most knives you'll see right around the 60 HRC. So with that high hardness, you're going to have a ton of wear resistance. This knife is going to cut and cut and cut and really not lose an edge. Honestly, I mean, I've been doing this for a little while, and I'd probably say at 63 hardness, this is going to hang right next to S90V, if not even beat it on a lot of knives. On a production S90V knife, this will probably beat it. On some of the customs, maybe a Shirogorov S90V, it's going to be close, but I'll tell you what, 63 HRC on M390 is no joke. So, yeah, if you guys are interested in the Cultrotech or you've been looking at them, God, I'd say go for it. I'm hoping to hang on to this one, maybe. Maybe I'll be able to talk them into it. We'll see. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and till next time.